It's the end of Mr. Beast. Oh my gosh. No, it isn't. He gained 3 million subscribers since the controversy started. What are y'all talking about? I would hazard the guess that he never has to address this ever. He'll keep getting bigger, and eventually we'll all get tired of farming for clicks and move on to something else. I'm not here defending him. I'm just saying, when you look at it, objectively, he doesn't even ever have to respond. He doesn't. Like, the way it looks now, he can just ignore it and continue growing millions of subscribers a month. And as long as his bottom line isn't affected, he doesn't have to say anything. No, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying he doesn't have to say anything as far as I can tell. But let's take a look at one of these videos and see for ourselves. Some of it is pretty bad.
I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now, but they might have started there. And I go up to my friend, my good friend, and I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans?
That is absolutely awful to hear. So he's claiming that they allegedly almost tortured him and then asked him to basically thank the cameras for it. Now, I don't know.
So first off, you have to understand that there's an inherent massive power dynamic between Mr. Beast and the people who play in his challenges. When you have that much money and you decide whether or not they get it, of course the power dynamic is in your favor. And so you are responsible for how you use that power dynamic. I'm not one of these woke idiots that thinks power is inherently bad. Power can be a very good thing. How you use your power is good or bad. And so you could make the case, if I was to be devil's advocate, I would say that these are a bunch of 20-something YouTubers who are just trying to make good content, and because they're young, they don't think a lot of these things through, and sometimes they do things that they will later regret, such as this. Yeah, it's not cool to keep the lights on someone for that long. Like, the poor man is clearly still suffering from the after effects of that, and that's not okay. Whether or not, and I know that people who defend him are going to say, okay, you could say that, oh, they signed up for it. They knew what they were getting into. Boo-hoo, a challenge was hard. Yeah, that's all well and good for like 95% of cases, but there is a line. And you cross that line when people are starting to be influenced by desire and large amounts of money to do things that are bad for their overall well-being and accept things that are bad for their well-being. That's where the responsibility of the person who holds all the power comes into play. And if this is all 100% true and there's no extra facts that can recontextualize it in a way that, makes it seem less bad, then I would say that Mr. Beast dropped the ball in this scenario. However, it's important to note that there might be more facts that might make it even worse. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know if it actually qualifies as like a war crime, because that seems a bit much. But regardless, it is a horrible thing to do to someone, especially from supposedly the kind-hearted God.
I would chalk it up to absent-minded negligence. I don't like to attribute to malice what can easily be attributed to incompetence. These are all very, very young men who don't have as much life experience as, say, the people who, make these big TV shows and stuff. And so this could very well just be a case of incompetence, and they dropped the ball on this, and they need to learn from it and move forward. And so that doesn't make it okay. But I would say that is the most likely way that it played out.
Odd angel that is supposed to be Mr. Beast, right? And if this is true, it could be a serious problem for Mr. Beast and the whole team, because there's been a ton of allegations of people accusing Mr. Beast of using money to get people to do things that they wouldn't normally do in a sane mind. I mean, presenting it as a vacation and then turning it around into borderline torture is just not a good look. At the very least, if they ever do something similar in the future, it needs to be monitored by some safety authority or something, because the reckless disregard for the health and safety of contestants in these challenges is just ridiculous at this point. Even even from the recent Beast Games allegations with people claiming to be injured, denied medication, and much more. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, and the weird thing about that one is this is Amazon, right? It's being produced with Amazon. They already, Amazon is a company that already has a history with this kind of stuff. You would think that they would have, made doubly sure that everything is good so that nothing bad can happen again, right? So that to me doesn't make sense. Again, I would need more information in order to form like a fully fledged opinion, but again, the responsibility falls on the person with all the power. Yes, the people who choose to participate and sign a waiver and agree to all of the terms, they are also partially responsible. But when you're the one with all the power and all the money, there is an extra added layer of responsibility on you to make sure that that person is continuing to act in their best interest, not only in your best interest. It's the same thing with parenting. Yes, you let your child make decisions for themselves, but you don't let them make really crazy decisions that would hurt them, right? Because you have more power. And so if Mr. Beast is the one with all the money, he needs to make sure that the people who are participating in his challenges are still acting in their best interest, in the interest of their health. Because there's just an extra layer of, he needs to acknowledge that there's a massive layer of power and influence and pressure when you put that much money over someone's head. Now, there's another part that I wanted to talk here about the idea.
No does not mean no. Already insane, because it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads,
when dealing with people outside Mr. Beast Productions, never take a no at face value. If you need a store to buy everything inside of, and you call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if there are fans, or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter, try their social team. If after all avenues are exhausted, you're still left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't just stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of the tools that, when combined, dramatically improve your probability of success when producing.
All right, so basically, this is a concept that I used in sales when I was back in doing door-to-door sales and stuff. I would push through no all the time. 80% of my sales and yeses came after the first no. Someone says no, I ask why, they give me a reason, I handle the objection, give them more information, and I convince them to buy the thing, right? And so whether or not this is ethical kind of comes down to the individual culture.
Here. All right, so it's basically saying keep trying to make the thing happen and don't take no for an answer, which is okay, except the phrase is a very weird choice.
Terrible
and probably
phrasing.
made a lot of women uncomfortable, but all right.
Yeah.
Now, Dogpack also claims that this sort of mentality might lead to some shady business behind the scenes. For example, if an employee...
It absolutely does. And that's on a case-by-case basis. I have run across salesmen who will lie and exaggerate and pull the wool over their clients' eyes just to get the sale. Because, sales is very, rah, rah, go get them, kind of cutthroaty. I didn't do that because I have ethics. I used information-based sales. So if someone says no, I would give them more information and contextualize it to help them understand why this is a great purchase for them. I wouldn't lie to them or exaggerate because I want everyone who buys from me to be happy, right? But this is definitely 100% possible. It all comes down to the integrity of the manager, how they speak to their employees, the integrity of the employees themselves, as well as the culture, and whether or not success with ethics is rewarded as much as success in general. It's great to be successful, but being successful and ethical is even better. One more part that I wanted to talk about.
I can't confirm or deny. From what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people.
Yeah.
And they knew that. He's running a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started.
Wow, that is absolutely horrific if that is true. Getting those vibes of, I don't know, Dan Schneider, Nickelodeon, all of that weird stuff. I mean, how did this possibly ever happen? Nobody who has done that type of stuff to a child should ever, ever, ever be allowed anywhere near kids or to even work on a channel that has so many kid viewers. It is just completely unacceptable. Again, I'm praying Mr. Beast did not know about this, but still, it is bad because it is his responsibility to monitor who is being employed under him and at his company. Now, it gets really bad when we allegedly have video footage of the guy in a Mr. Beast video.
And, you know, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure some people are going to say, well, if they serve their sentence, you know, they should be forgiven. They should be, you know, allowed to come back into society if they're rehabilitated to be good people. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. I'm a Christian. I believe in forgiveness and all that. What's also true on top of that is that you don't take risks with children. You just don't. Right? Like, if they want to go work in a factory or something, fine. Go work in a factory. They don't need to be around kids. And also, and another thing that is true is just the optics of a kids channel. You can't do that. You know, like, you know, at some companies, if you're like a factory or a paper company or something, you know, the government might give the management of that company a tax rebate for hiring felons and letting them come back into society. And that's nice. But this is a company for children. Right? Like, it just doesn't sit well in any way, shape, or form. And I can't imagine, you know, Mr. B seeing that and thinking, oh, this is a great idea. I mean, he started when he was young. Maybe it could be chalked up to incompetence. Either way, you know, as much as I like Mr. Beast and I emotionally want to defend him, I really can't based on the information that I've been getting. And, you know, I'm not going to form a 100% perfectly complete opinion because Mr. Beast has yet to come out and defend himself, which is really what I wanted to talk about. He's going to be fine. Everybody here is saying, oh, Mr. Beast is over. It's done. He's finished. It's the end of his career. No, it isn't. When the scandal started, he had 307 million subscribers? He has 310 million subscribers now. So since the scandal started, he's gained 3 million subscribers. He'll probably gain tens of millions of more. Unless it gets significantly worse, he could just keep plowing ahead doing his thing and say nothing, and he'll still be the biggest creator on YouTube. He'll still be making a lot of money. All he has to do is internally, quietly, fix any of the issues that are true and go forward. And make sure none of this happens again. I would give it if nothing else comes out, we're basically done here. 4 months, everyone's going to forget, everyone's going to get bored and move on. There's still going to be people on Twitter who don't forget and talk about it, but it won't be enough to slow them down. Right? And so, unless the allegations and controversies get worse, I would say Mr. Beast as a brand, as the top creator on YouTube, probably mostly in the clear. Yes, I would say from an ethical point of view, if any of this is true whatsoever, he definitely needs to acknowledge his mistakes and make sure that this stuff doesn't happen again, because it's just not okay. When you have that much power, you're responsible. Period. With great power comes great responsibility. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. I like to comment on all things different culture, and yeah, check out this video right over there, because why not, right?